Hi everyone, myself Dr. P. Soumya, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So in this session, I'm going to discuss about oxygen cycle in biogeochemical cycle, oxygen cycle. So in that, I will discuss about definition of oxygen cycle, biological importance of oxygen, ecological importance of oxygen, reservoirs of oxygen and oxygen cycle, steps involved in oxygen cycle. So definition of oxygen. In oxygen, it is a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. Oxygen, it is a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. So oxygen, this is elemental oxygen, this is denoted by O, and this oxygen gas, so this is denoted by O2. It is colorless, odorless, tasteless gas, and it is denser than air. It is denser than air. It is poor conductor of heat and electricity. It is oxygen, it is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Oxygen, it is a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas, and it is denser than air. It is poor conductor of heat and electricity. So oxygen, it is one of the main components of the Earth's atmosphere. It can always be found with the other elements. So oxygen, it is one of the main components of Earth's atmosphere. It can always be found with other elements. So two oxygen atoms make up one oxygen molecules. We know that the two oxygen atoms, so this will make up one molecule, one oxygen molecule. The three oxygen atoms, the three oxygen atoms together make up the molecule called ozone. So two oxygen atoms, these will make up one oxygen molecule. Three oxygen atoms, these will make up ozone molecule. Ozone molecule, that is the formula is O3. Ozone, it is indicated as O3. Oxygen, it is O2. If two oxygen atoms are together, so these will form oxygen. If three oxygen atoms together, this will make up the ozone molecule. So it is oxygen, it is one of the main components of Earth, and it can always be found with other elements. So if we take the carbon dioxide, it is in that oxygen it is combined with the carbon. Oxygen is combined with the carbon. So biological importance of oxygen. What is the biological importance of oxygen? So humans need it to be breathed. So first importance is humans need, and all the human beings and all the living organisms need oxygen to breathe. And it needed for decomposition of organic waste. So for decomposition of organic waste, so we need oxygen. So in presence of oxygen only, the decomposition of waste or decomposition of organic waste takes place. So for the decomposition of organic waste, we need oxygen. Water can dissolve oxygen, and this dissolved oxygen supports aquatic life. So we know that water, so this can dissolve all the gases like oxygen and other gases. So water can dissolve oxygen, and this dissolved oxygen, it is very useful for aquatic life, aquatic plants and animals. So this is the biological importance of oxygen. So in this, humans and all living organisms need the oxygen to breathe, and oxygen is needed for decomposition of organic waste, and water can dissolve the oxygen, and this dissolved oxygen, it is very useful for aquatic life. So what is the ecological importance of oxygen? Without oxygen at the bottom of the water body, anaerobic bacteria anaerobic bacteria. So those anaerobic bacteria means those that live without oxygen. The microorganisms, the bacteria, so which are living without oxygen. Without oxygen, that bacteria is called as anaerobic bacteria. So without oxygen at the bottom of the water body, anaerobic bacteria, these produce acids. So without oxygen at the bottom of water, so anaerobic bacteria produce acids. These acids not only increase the acidity, so these acids are not only increase the acidity but also cause massive release of phosphorus and nitrogen. So which are two major fertilizers from the organic sediment and into the water column. So here ecological importance of oxygen. So in this, without oxygen at the bottom of water body, the anaerobic bacteria, it will produces acids, and these acids this will not only increase the acidity but also cause a massive effect, massive release of phosphorus and nitrogen, massive release of phosphorus and nitrogen. So which are used as two major fertilizers from the organic sediment, so into the water column. So these same anaerobic bacteria put toxic gases in the water. So this anaerobic bacteria, it is producing acids and which are causing the acidic nature, which are increasing the acidic nature of the water, and which are releasing, which are used for, which are caused to release the phosphorus as well as nitrogen. So these anaerobic bacteria, this is also put toxic gases in the water, including hydrogen sulfide. So it is having rotten smell. So here it is producing hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, carbon dioxide and methane. So these all are toxic gases. So anaerobic bacteria, it is producing toxic gases in water, including hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, carbon dioxide and methane. These gases are all toxic to fish. These all gases are toxic to fish and beneficial for beneficial bacteria and insects. So in absence of oxygen, anaerobic bacteria, it is producing acids as well as poisonous gases like poisonous and toxic gases like hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, carbon dioxide and methane. Carbon dioxide and methane. So these are very toxic gases which are very toxic to fish, and these are beneficial bacteria and insects which are present in water, which are present in aquatic life. So these toxic gases and acids, so these are affecting the life of aquatic animals and plants. So this is ecological importance of oxygen. So without oxygen, that anaerobic bacteria producing toxic gases as well as acids. So lack of bottom oxygen, it is the cause of odors produced by anaerobic bacteria. So lack of bottom oxygen, it is the cause of odors produced by anaerobic bacteria. Lack of fish enable disease hosting mosquitoes to thrive, as a mosquitoes are natural food for fish. Lack of fish enables disease hosting mosquitoes to thrive, as a mosquitoes are these bees are natural food for fish. So these are acting as, these are producing the mosquitoes which are food for fish are, so these are enabling disease hosting, enabling disease, these are causing the diseases. So without oxygen at the bottom at all the time, beneficial bacteria and insects cannot biodegrade the organic sediment. So large accumulations of organic sediment it follow. So without oxygen at the bottom or the all, so we know that the combustion, the decomposition of organic, the biodegradation of organic waste, so it is takes place only in presence of oxygen. So without oxygen at the bottom of water, so beneficial bacteria and insects, these cannot biodegrade the organic sediment. So because of this large accumulation of organic sediment, it will followed in the water aquatic environment. So because of the lack of oxygen, because of the lack of absence of oxygen in the bottom of the water, beneficial that anaerobic bacteria, it is producing toxic gases as well as acids, and it is increasing the acidity of water, and it is producing the nitrogen and phosphorus, which are two fertilizers. So and also without oxygen, so here the beneficial bacteria and insects, these cannot biodegrade the organic waste. So these the large organic waste is accumulated on the water, on sea water, on any water aquatic environment. So this is the ecological importance of oxygen. So we should have the oxygen presence. So we should have the aquatic life as well as other atmospheric life. So these are having, they should have oxygen presence. So the what are the reservoirs, main reservoir sources of oxygen? So the main reservoirs of oxygen. So these reservoirs are locations in which oxygen found. Reservoir. What is reservoir? Means the reservoirs. So these are the locations in which oxygen found. Reservoirs are the locations in which oxygen is found. So we have four types of reservoirs, like biosphere, that is living things, and lithosphere, that is earth crust, atmosphere, that is air, and hydrosphere, water. The main reservoirs are the locations in which oxygen is found. It is four types: biosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. So oxygen, it is found in biosphere as well as lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. So yeah, oxygen is everywhere. So like biosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. So at the Earth's layers, first one is Earth layers. So it is present on Earth layer. The lithosphere, it is the Earth surrounding layer. So we know that the lithosphere is Earth surrounding layer. It is composed of solids such as soil and rock. Lithosphere, it is a Earth surrounding layer. It is composed of solids such as soil and rock. So the atmosphere, it is a surrounding atmosphere. It is surrounding thin layer of gases. Lithosphere, it is the earth surrounding layer. Atmosphere, it is the surrounding thin layer of gases. Hydrosphere, it refers to liquid environment. Hydrosphere, it is refers to liquid environment such as lakes, oceans that lie between the lithosphere as well as atmosphere. So hydrosphere, it is lying between in between lithosphere and atmosphere. Atmosphere, it is surrounding of thin layers, and lithosphere, it is surrounding of earth layer. So here the biosphere, it is a creation of continuous existence, results from chemical, biological, and physical processes. So biosphere and atmosphere. Within the biosphere atmosphere, plants begin the oxygen cycle. Within the biosphere and atmosphere, the plants begin the oxygen cycle and animals continue it. So plants begin the oxygen cycle. Photolysis also donates Photolysis also donates to a large portion of oxygen in the atmosphere, where high energy ultraviolet radiation breaks down to atmospheric water and nitrate. So much of the oxygen present in atmosphere, it is used during respiration. So much of oxygen, it is present in atmosphere. This is used during respiration and degradation mechanisms, where animal life and bacteria consume oxygen and release carbon dioxide. So it is using during respiration, and also so these are consumed by the bacteria. So when degradation of organic waste. So and it is oxygen also cycled between biosphere and lithosphere. Oxygen also cycle between biosphere and lithosphere, and also this oxygen is used for burning of fuel or anything. So this is oxygen cycle importance. So what is the oxygen cycle? What is the oxygen cycle? In the oxygen cycle, oxygen atoms present in Earth circulate through a series of intricate processes. So here, in the oxygen cycle, oxygen atoms present in the Earth. So these are circulated through the series of intricate processes. So here, the movement of oxygen is taking place. Movement of oxygen, it is taking place through different hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere. So this is called as oxygen cycle. This is nothing but movement of oxygen from one sphere to other sphere like atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and and other that lithosphere. So it is like the nitrogen, carbon, and water cycles. The oxygen cycle, it is a biogeochemical cycle. We know that the like nitrogen, carbon, and water cycles. The oxygen cycle, it is a biogeochemical cycle. Biogeochemical cycle, it is the movement of matter through the biotic and abiotic spheres of ecosystem. So we know that a biogeochemical cycle, it is a movement of matter through the biotic as well as abiotic spheres of ecosystem. So here, oxygen cycle means it is the movement of oxygen through the biotic and abiotic spheres of ecosystem. So here different steps are involved in the oxygen cycle. So step one of oxygen cycle. So in this, the plant release oxygen. The plant release oxygen into atmosphere as a byproduct of photosynthesis. We know that the plant, it will take the sunlight as well as carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and it will produce the carbohydrates or any products. So these are by after that these are producing the oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. So here, along with the products, along with the carbohydrates, so these plants are releasing the oxygen as a byproduct in photosynthesis process. So this photosynthesis process, the plant take carbon dioxide and water. The plant take carbon dioxide and water and use them to make food. So their food is simple sugar glucose. So they're producing the simple sugar, that is glucose. So here, the plant, it is taking the carbon dioxide and water and sunlight using the three. So it is making the food. So that food is simple sugar. So definition of this is photosynthesis is process in which definition of photosynthesis is process in which green plants use the energy from the sun to make carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of chlorophyll. So here chlorophyll, it is absorbing the chlorophyll which is present in the leaves of the plants. So these are absorbing the sunlight and also water and carbon dioxide. So using three of them, it is producing the food. So which is nothing but sugar. So here, what is this photosynthesis means? It is the process in which green plants use energy from the sun to make carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of chlorophyll. So in this photosynthesis, plants pull the carbon of carbon dioxide and use the carbon in glucose. So here plants in this photosynthesis, the plants are taking the carbon dioxide, they are consuming the carbon dioxide, and so these are using the carbon in glucose. So they do not need oxygen for this. They get that from the water. So here, so in this plant photosynthesis, plants are consuming the carbon dioxide and this is giving the glucose like carbohydrate. So there is no need of oxygen, only it need carbon dioxide as well as water. Plant release oxygen back into the atmosphere. Plants release the oxygen back into the atmosphere. So the other organisms use free oxygen for respiration. So in photosynthesis process, these plants are taking the carbon dioxide and water and sunlight. Using chlorophyll, it is undergoing photosynthesis processing and producing products and like food. During the photosynthesis process, plants releasing the oxygen back into the atmosphere. So other organisms use free of oxygen for respiration. So these oxygen which is present in atmosphere, these are used by the organisms, other living organisms for respiration process. Step 2 of oxygen cycle. In step 1, oxygen is produced. In step 2, animals take in oxygen through the process of respiration. Second step is animals take in oxygen through the process of respiration. Second step is respiration. So animals then break down sugars and food. So animals, these are break down the sugars and food. So by using respiration means it is a process by which an organism exchanges gases with its environment. Respiration means it is a process by which an organism exchanges gases with its environment. So in this process, oxygen is abstracted from air. In this process, oxygen is abstracted from air and transported to cell for the oxidation of organic molecules, while carbon dioxide and water, the products of oxidation, are returned to the environment. The products of oxidation, these are returned to the environment. In this respiration process means it is a process by which organism exchanges the gases with its environment. In this process, oxygen is abstracted from the air and this is transported to the various cells present in the body, animal body. So these are used for the oxidation of organic molecules, and these are producing while oxidation of while the process of oxidation of organic molecule, it is producing carbon dioxide. So these products of oxidation, these are again returned into the environment. So all animals and other consumers, these use oxygen for respiration. We use oxygen to break down simple sugar and release energy. So we human beings, we are using oxygen. We use oxygen to break down simple sugar and to release energy. So this can be done through respiration or fermentation. So this can be done through respiration or fermentation. For both processes we need oxygen. So animals mainly use respiration. Step 2 of oxygen cycle, it is respiration. In this, oxygen is used by the animals and these are consumed by the animals for the production of energy and for the breakdown of simple sugar. So in this simple sugar glucose, the molecule most living things use energy. The molecule most living things use for energy. So we know this. What is the simple sugar of glucose? This is a molecule most living things use for energy. So including human beings. So we break down food into smaller molecules during digestion. So one of the small molecule, it is glucose. So one of the small molecule of carbohydrate, it is a glucose. So we break down the food into smaller molecules during digestion. So glucose leaves your intestines, goes into your blood and it is taken to your every cell in your body. So glucose leaves your intestines. So here it goes into your blood and it is taken to every cell in our body. So respiration, it is a process that breaks apart simple food molecules to release energy. It occurs inside the cells. Respiration, it occurs inside the cells. The work of respiration, it is a process that breaks simple food molecule which are used to release the energy. So here respiration in cells. In your cells, oxygen, it is used to split glucose apart, releasing energy, water and carbon dioxide. Step 3 in oxygen cycle, carbon dioxide, it is released by animals and used in plants in photosynthesis. Step 3 in oxygen cycle. So step 1, it is so in this oxygen is produced by the plants. Step two in this respiration. So human beings are all the animals are using oxygen in this using oxygen for respiration processes. So for step three, it is an oxygen cycle. Carbon dioxide is released by animals and used in plants in photosynthesis. So it is oxygen, it is balanced between the atmosphere and ocean. Step 3 in oxygen cycle, in this carbon dioxide is released by animals. So in this first plants are producing the oxygen and these are taken by the animals after during the respiration process. So these animals are releasing the carbon dioxide. So which are very useful, again useful for plants for the photosynthesis process. So in this like this oxygen is balanced between the atmosphere and the ocean. So like this oxygen, it is balanced between the atmosphere and ocean. So here this is the third step, which are the step 3 in oxygen cycle. In this, carbon dioxide is released by animals and it is used in plants for photosynthesis process. So how do plants contribute? How do plants contribute oxygen? So here the oxygen cycle begins with the plants and photosynthesis. The oxygen cycle, we know that the oxygen cycle begins with plants and photosynthesis. Through photosynthesis, plants convert energy from the sun and water into carbohydrates and oxygen. Through photosynthesis, these plants are the plants converting energy. These are taking energy from the sun, that is solar energy. These are converting energy from the sun and water into carbohydrates and by leaving oxygen as a byproduct. By leaving oxygen as a byproduct. So during the day, the plants convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. During the day, the plants convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. And during the night, the plants convert oxygen into carbon dioxide. So to maintain their metabolism. So plants are converting both carbon dioxide into oxygen and oxygen into carbon dioxide. So during the daytime, plants convert carbon dioxide into oxygen and carbohydrates. So during the night times, plants convert oxygen into carbon dioxide. So plants convert carbon dioxide, oxygen into carbon dioxide. So during daytime, plants are converting carbon dioxide into oxygen. During night time, so these are converting oxygen into carbon dioxide. So here carbon dioxide, which is used to maintain their metabolism. So plants are converting carbon dioxide to oxygen and oxygen to carbon dioxide. So in this oxygen cycle, these are plants take in oxygen and these are giving out the carbon dioxide at the night. So here in the night time, these are plants are giving oxygen, carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. And at daytime, the plants are taking carbon dioxide and they are giving oxygen during photosynthesis and in the daytime. So in the daytime, this oxygen is used for the respiration of animals. Like animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide in daytime. Oxygen, it is breathe in, animals breathe in oxygen and these breathe out the carbon dioxide. This is the oxygen cycle in the atmosphere. This is the process of oxygen cycle in the atmosphere. So how do living organisms contribute oxygen? Humans and animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. We know that the humans and animals, all the living organisms breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide through their process of metabolism, sparking, and the process of photosynthesis. So once again linking back to the plant's contribution to the oxygen cycle. So how in this animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide through their process of metabolism and respiration and other processes. So these are linking back to plants and contribution to the oxygen cycle. So we know that during the photosynthesis process, oxygen is produced. This oxygen is used for the respiration process of animals. So here in this process, animals are breathing oxygen and these are breathe out carbon dioxide. These are breathe out carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide again used by the plants. So this is the cycle. So here this oxygen, this is in this process, in this stage it is in the form of oxygen. In this is it is formed in the form of combined state. It is combined with the carbon. So this is the oxygen cycle. In this plants are producing oxygen and again these are used for the respiration of all the living organisms. Using during the respiration of all the living organisms, these are producing carbon dioxide. Again, it is useful for the photosynthesis of plants. So this is oxygen cycle. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.